1. Hi there, welcome to another episode of the Beer Garden, where we're not just joined by Shireen this time, but also Mark Hirofsky. How are you doing, Mark?
Yeah, I'm very good, Steve. It's been a while since I've been on this show, but yeah, looking forward to Goodwood. Hopefully we can get a couple of winners, but yeah, great to be back with yourself and Shireen.
It's a long time since I've spoken to you. It's nice to see you. Have you enjoyed the racing so far at Glorious Goodwood?
Yeah, listen, I thought the Stradivarius Kyprios, obviously in day one of the Goodwood Cup, was obviously interesting, but I think the best horse won on the day. I don't think Adzini could have done any more. I think if he had challenged closer to Kyprios, the eventual winner, I think Kyprios would have found more. I think that's the next Yates, in my opinion, just keeps finding and finding. Had a nice winner yesterday, well today, Trillium for Richard Hannon, Ryan Moore. No, it was Pat Dobbs on that one. Trillium won, I backed that one at tens, good winner. But yes, it's been profitable so far, so can't complain.
Very good. Was that backed into something like 7-1? I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't think it was my money though, but it was
Yes.
it was well backed and won quite well. It was a good ride from Pat Dobbs, won quite easy.
And Shireen, you had a family interest in Dear My Friend in the JRA Vintage Stakes, and she ran well, didn't she?
I think quite good because I think he's just 2-year-old, still have plenty to improve. He is not supposed to be an early mature type, so I will be quite looking forward to his career maybe in the coming several years, hopefully. And so far, I know that the horse is doing quite well, so that's quite good, and I'm also quite looking forward to that. And this time in this episode, it is quite nice to have Mark in the UK and also Steve from Scotland, and I'm in Hong Kong. I'm quite sure that not only our three places, but all the countries around the world, the racing fans are really very enjoy the Glorious Goodwood Festival. So we hope that we can pick some winners for you in day 3 and day 4 of this occasion.
Well, let's hope. Let's cross everything. Well, we shall ask Mark first. Who do you like in the main race of the day, the Qatar Nassau Stakes?
Yeah, I thought this one was quite tricky. It's probably going to divide a lot of opinion because obviously you've got the 3-year-olds in here against the older horses. But to be honest with you, I'm not actually convinced by any of the 3-year-olds in this race. Rogue Millennium, I actually fancied that one at Epsom. That like the form down at Newcastle next time out. Concert Hall was disappointing at Epsom in the Curragh, in my opinion. I think Najwa is obviously the likely favourite here. It's short enough, it's currently around even money. But of the runners in that race, the Epsom Oaks, I think Najwa was definitely the standout one to take out, because if you go back and watch the runner, I don't think she handled the track and she hung badly left under pressure in the centre of the course. In my opinion, Najwa beats Emily Upjohn on Tuesday on a flat track, but I'm going to go for one of the older horses here. I quite like Ed Walker's Dream Looper, 13-2 currently on the sportsbook. This was unsuited by the yielding ground in the Pretty Polly Stakes at the Curragh last time out, before won on Good to Firm ground at Newmarket in Group 2 company, and obviously Longchamp as well ran well there in Group 1 company. Solid form this season, back on a sounder surface. I think it should be difficult to beat. I think this one's a solid each way alternative to Najwa, but it's not the sort of one where I'd go diving into Najwa and layer. I still think she's the right favourite, but I just think there's maybe a little bit more value back in a Dream Looper each way. I think Najwa's a classy sort. She's definitely the right favourite, but I wouldn't layer. I think we'll play Dream Looper each way.
So Mark goes for Dream Looper each. I had a funny feeling you wouldn't pick Najwa, being a sort of left field, intelligent kind of man.
I thought you were going to say a left field, young, intelligent man, but yeah, we're past that stage now. But I genuinely, I like taking on the short ones, but I think Najwa's definitely the right favourite here, and I don't think this is a strong. She's well clear of the other 3-year-olds in this race, in my opinion, and definitely the one to take out that runner in the Epsom Oaks.
Yes, I think it's a good selection. Shireen, who do you like? Are you going with the likely favourite?
Yes, right. I will go for the current favorite Nashua. I think that this is going to be a very interesting race because the older mares in this field are quite strong, including Dream Looper. It is happy to see her to having quite a consistent performance at 5-year-old. However, I hope that the 3-year-old Nashua and can take advantage of the weight allowance because she already showed some good performance in UK. When in the UK Oaks, it was Epsom Ops, maybe the 200 and 400, maybe the 2400 meters is too long for her. But stepping back to 2,000 meters, I think it is a more suitable distance. And this time, I believe that after her victory in France, she is able to keep it back to back. And also with Holly Doyle on board, Holly Doyle recently is quite good performance in the glorious Goodwood. So Nashua will be my pick. But I would like to also mention another 3-year-old here. That will be number 5 Concert Hall. Concert Hall, I'll be quite interesting to see that whether the trick pieces will pale, because she used to be a front runner, but it is not that easy for her to keep till the end. So maybe this gear will be quite helpful. But my first pick in this race will be number 7 Nashua. I hope she can win a Group 1 in UK.
So Shireen goes to number 7 Nashua, and also an eye on number 5 Concert Hall. Well, I agree with Shireen, number 7 Nashua. Not the most original selection, but that's quite a consistent horse. 3 wins from 4 this season, culminating in the Prix de Diane, the French Oaks at Chantilly, and always prominent under Holly Doyle, despite racing quite keenly, still had enough to hold off La Parisienne, previously 3rd in the Kazoo Oaks. And of course, as Mark says, Dream Loper 2 from 3 this season, and the ground pretty much went against her last time in the Pretty Polly. I thought for the forecast, I'd go for Rogue Millennium. So a nice horse, Tom Clover, Jack Mitchell on for all 4 rides. 4 runs, won her first 2, not disgraced. And the Kazoo Oaks really has 4 lengths to find with Nashua. I think that's too much to bridge, don't you? But she ran well in the group, reasonably well, I thought, in the Group 3 at Newcastle on a later start, and a sporting selection to chase home Nashua. But it's a race.
I thought she's talking about Rogue Millennium, Steve. I thought she travelled very, very well in the Oaks. She actually hit the front 2 out. And again, she could have been another one that might not have handled the course. She looked still a bit green under pressure. She's won at Lingfield the race before. I'm not actually sure the step down and trip would suit, but I was quite keen on her on the day in Epsom. I think she was a massive price, around 50. She got a wee bit of late money for her, but she's one I could see bouncing back as a 3-year-olds out of them.
Yes. It was a promise, as you say. I mean, she was banging the firing line with sort of 2 furlongs to go, wasn't she? And with the camber at Epsom, it doesn't suit everyone, and just her 3rd run. So anything's possible, isn't it? And there's many a time I've thought, no, it's too much to bridge 4 or 5 lengths, but things can easily be turned around. And of course, Nashua might not be her day, and that leaves it open to, as you say, Dream Loper or anyone for that matter. It's an exciting day. Do you have any other selections for Day 3, Mark?
There's one that I like, which is on, I think it's in the 7 furlongs Jaguar La Cause Nursery Handicap, 410. It's Sunningdale. Paul Cole. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I don't think accents like ours would fit in round there, to be honest with you, Steve. Sunningdale. No. That's Jeff Banks' territory, unfortunately. But this one was quite well supported on debut. And this yard, they're not really renowned for having first-time out 2-year-olds. I mean, Luke Morris was on board, wasn't actually beaten that far behind Michela's Boy. Was found out behind Holloway Boy at Ascot next time out, enlisted company. But Holloway Boy, ran quite well. I thought the other day, I think it was on Tuesday, this one ran. Was just turned over in the Chesham Stakes. This one I ran in the Chesham Stakes at Ascot one first time out, and I ran in Japan Racing Association Village Vintage Stakes on Tuesday. I think that could be a good bit of form. Ran well at Newbury enlisted, and then in novice company last time out as well. Only off 79 here. I think Sunningdale could be competitive off 79. It's currently 9-1 and blue on odds checker at the moment. But that would probably be, of my outsider sort of handicaps, that would be the one to look for, Sunningdale. I think this one's better than 79.
There we are, an interesting horse on Day 3 from Mark there. Race number 5, number 9, Sunningdale. And Shireen, you have a selection in the same race, don't you?
Yes, right. I also looking for some long shot in race 5, the nursery handicap, the 2-year-old race. And I will go for that will be number 8, XJ Rascal. Currently, the price is $11. I think that maybe we can have an each way on this horse because recently we see him improving. And also this time, I don't think the wide draw is a big concern, especially with William Buick on board. And I'm quite sure that after breaking from the wide draw, he can definitely stay in the midfield with some cover. That will be the best position and best riding tactic for him. And he made his debut at Brington and he won it. I think that this Brington racecourse is quite a bit similar to Goodwood, especially or for the home straight. So XJ Racecourse also already have the experience of some similar racecourse. So this time going to Goodwood, I'm quite looking forward to him, especially with William Buick on board. And this time the price is quite attractive. So maybe they have an each way on XJ Rascal that will be number 8 in race 5.
So difference of opinion there. Interesting horses though. And Shireen goes for XJ Rascal. Strange name, isn't it? I wonder where that came from. Rather interesting thing.
Yes.
Anyway, I've gone for a more predictable selection, but actually, I say predictable. It's race number 2. It's the Richmond Stakes, a Group 2. I went for Royal Scotsman. I do have slight doubts about this. I think Royal Scotsman brings a very solid, sort of consistent level of form, but I am worried that there might be something better lurking. But he's a nice horse. He got off the mark over course and distance on his second start under today's pilot, Jim Crowley. Last start, it was a very good third in the Group 2 Coventry at the Royal Meeting, and a place ahead of the favourite Blackbeard, who made no mistake at Chantilly in the Daly Prix Robert Papin next time. I think his main rival in here could be Chateau. He was a fine fourth in the Windsor Castle Stakes before overcoming a troubled passage to win at Newbury on his last start. So I think Royal Scotsman is a worthy favourite, but I also think it's a tricky race. What do you think? Have you had a look at race 2, Mark and Shireen? It's a tough one, isn't it?
We'll be hoping for a Paul and Oliver Cole double on the day. We'll take that though.
Yes.
You can take the first leg and I'll bring it home in the second leg.
That'd be very nice, wouldn't it? Yes. So just to recap on day number 3 and then the Nassau Stakes, Mark has gone for Dream Loper and Shireen and myself have gone for the favourite Nashwa. But Shireen also looking at Concert Hall as well, an interesting horse there. And then race number 5, the Jaeger LeCoultre Nursery Handicap. And number 8, XJ Rascal for Shireen. And number 9, Sunningdale, 2 posh for Mark and I though. Sunningdale Golf Club there. And I will go for an earlier race. Race number 2, the Richmond Stakes, the Group 2, go for Royal Scotsman. So this brings us to Friday, probably one of my favourite days in the whole meeting, I think. A nice bit of speed here in race 4, the King George Cutters Stakes. And Mark, who do you like?
Yeah, I thought this was quite competitive and there's certainly a lot of speed in this race. I expect Nick Appleby's Rassel to be prominent here. I mean, ultra consistent, sort of travels like an absolute dream. And James Doyle takes the ride again. I think this one is a perfect back to lay material if you're on the bet for exchange. This one will trade short and running. James Doyle on board is going to travel like a dream. And Roger Varian's Matabi, it's an eye catcher at Sandown and denied a clear run. But I do have that rule, like backing horses that were unlucky last time out. It's a fast track to the graveyard, so won't be on Matabi. Short enough's favourite around 3 to 172 at the moment. But one I'm going to take a chance on is Stuart Williams Existent. It's currently 20 to 1. Another consistent sort is a length behind Rassel at Sandown. Solid run behind Nature Strip prior at Ascot in the King Stan Stakes. That's a good bit of form. A neck behind Kadam at Newmarket. This one needs to be held up and ridden for luck. So if they go hell for leather up front here and Rassel gets taken on early, I think Existence can pick up the pieces. Currently 20 to 1, best price available on UK and Irish sportsbooks right now. But obviously you need a lot of pace for this one and a bit of luck in running. But I just think Existence knocking on the door and Marco Gianni on board. I think this one could potentially do them all late on.
So Mark goes on number 5, Existent. Now, he came fourth, didn't he, in the Coral Charge? That was a fairly good run, wasn't it? So
very consistent, yeah. Like he always comes there late. He needs to pace the claps. if he's anywhere, if he stays a couple lengths behind where Furlong go, I think he's got a chance.
Yes, yes, interesting horse. And Shireen, who do you like in the King George?
Yeah, in the King George, it is the day 4 of the glorious Goodwood Festival, but we are not be able to watch it from Hong Kong. So maybe hopefully next year, Hong Kong Jockey Club will consider also having day 4 and day 5 of this festival in Hong Kong. But yeah, in the King George, I will go for number 2, Acclaim Express. He is a course and distance winner 2 years ago, but this year as a 4-year-old now, he's still competitive. I think last time out in the Kingston, it was so impressive. He went third behind some good horses, Nature Strip, and I believe that he's now still fit and healthy. And also this time over the 5 furlong, the straight course, the draw gates 10 is quite nice for him. So looking forward to him because he already have the course and distance experience. So number 2, Acclaim Express for me.
So Acclaim Express for Shireen. If I'll give you my number if you like, and I could do the commentary for you. I could just
that would be great.
That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? Yes. Listen to my car. I'll probably get the horse rog, and I'll see Acclaim Express as 1, but it'll probably 4th or something. You'll go out spending all your
cool.
You'll do a Tomo, Steve. You see that at Perth the other day when he called the wrong horse at Fell, the odds-on favourite.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it was an odds-on favourite. Is that what a freeze-on chance? He thought the favourite had fell and he got the wrong horse.
Oh my goodness me! Well,
yeah, Tomo.
It does happen, doesn't it? Good old Tomo.
Yeah, you could hear the crowd sort of gasping as well.
Were they really? Oh, I'll have to go back. I never saw that, unfortunately. I was busy working, you see. That's a shame. Yeah. I hope Marco Gianni doesn't ride down too quickly to the start in the King George and put any of the horses off,
Yeah, you wouldn't want anybody swearing at him,
No. Did you see that, Shireen, that Kieran Fallon swore at Marco Gianni because he came down with his horse too quickly, didn't he? And according to Kieran Fallon, he sort of upset his own horse. So so in future he'll have to go, I say, you came down here at a rate of knots, didn't you? That's what you'll have to say in future, something polite like that. Yeah.
The game's gone mad, hasn't it? The game's gone mad.
Well, yes, it has. It's all gone mad. I think the whole world's gone mad sometimes. But there you go.
Okay.
Oh dear. Well, in this race in the King George, I went for number 8, Russell. I must admit, I'm actually concerned about the draw, to be honest. In 3, I think he's a bit on the wing slightly, and I found it tricky because I thought he was on the wing, and I even thought Couture might run better in the first time cheek pieces because I always think that's a better horse than he's showing, And Mitbahi's interesting. He's one closer to the rail than my selection, Russell. And then you have equilaterals out in the middle, isn't it? And Acclaim Express. And interesting, 200 to 1 last time, I think. Was it 150 or 200 to 1 last time at Royal Ascot? And Lazuli is conceding weight to them all, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lazuli actually made the top 3. It's an interesting horse. And Kadem. And I think Pontos will make the running with Frankie, possibly.
I think there could be a real burn-up here. I think the pace is going to collapse.
Yes. Yes, I even thought Clarendon House, 5th to Bernoy, a very nice French horse last time at Chantilly, and I thought with Sylvester de Souza on, horse needs to improve, but who's to say he can't? But yes, back to Russell. He's unbeaten at the course. He's 2 from 2, and James Doyle has ridden him on 6 occasions. He's won on 5. He's been second on 1. That's a pretty good record, isn't it? So that's what I went for. So just to confirm, Mark went for number 5, Existent, and Shireen went for 2, Acclaim Express, which would be lovely to see Rowan Scott getting a nice Group 1 winner. And I went for number 8, Russell, and that is ridden by James Doyle. And Shireen, did you like anything else on the day? Any other selections for race number 4?
Yes, I do.
In
day 4. Yes, I do. In day 4, I also have another 2 bets that will be Backside Shadow in the Thoroughbred Stake and Rebel Romance in the Glorious Stake. So first of all, talking about the race, in race 2, I like number 2, Backside Shadow, because he's the second in the Vintage Stakes last year. So Goodwood, the course will not be, he is quite familiar with the track. And he becomes 3-year-old this year and tried 3 times over 1,600 meters. I think that odd was not bad because there were some strong rivals that Berkshire Shadow faced, including Corgus, Native Trial, Lazuli, and Mighty Ulysses. And this time going back to Goodwood under Jason Watson in this Group 3, there is a weaker field. So I hope that Berkshire Shadow can bounce back in this Group 3. And the other horse I'm going to pick that will be number 8, Rebel's Romance in race 5, the Glorious Stakes. This horse has some disappointing performance earlier in this year. However, it is so happy to see him bounce back after coming back to UK. Last time out at Newmarket, he just beat Kimari. I think that showing that he is still fit, healthy, and competitive, of course. And this time, going to Goodwood for the first time. But I think the good draw will be helpful. And also with the on fire William Buick on board, I hope that Rebel Romance will also win another race after coming back to UK. So that will be my and other 2 bets on day 4.
So Shireen in race number 2, the Bonhams Thoroughbred Stakes, number 2 Berkshire Shadow, and in race number 5, the Law Marines Queen's Plate Stakes, and that is Group 3, number 8, Rebels Romance. I took Shireen on in race number 2, the Bonhams Thoroughbred Stakes. Bonhams, an international auction house, founded away back in 1793, just to let you know some useless trivia there. I went for Check and Challenge, trained by William Knight, ridden by William Buick, unexposed, 2 from 4, both wins on the all-weather at Wolverhampton and latterly at Newcastle, but ran a cracking race on the turf at Sandown on his latest start in the Coral Challenge Handicap. Coincidentally, the race after Russell won the Coral Charge. So it's an interesting one there. That's my pick there. And a massive step up, really, because he was away back second last in the 2000 Guineas behind Caribus. So Check and Challenge, it was an improved run last time. And then in race number 6, took a bit of a chance. It's the Coral, beaten by a length, free bet nursery. And I went for an each way in silence. Richard Hannon, Kieran Fallon, the J. Harron Partnership and Qatar Racing. 4 runs. He was 7 from 24 in the Windsor Castle at 150 to 1. And then from 150s, he was actually 5 to 6 on. He was an odds on shot at Chester when second to Change of Mind. Since been gelded, and he's now reunited with Kieran Fallon. But I thought it was an each way price. And did you have any thoughts on day 4, Mark, yourself, apart from the main race?
There was one that I've backed this one the last twice, and it's let me down the last twice, and I've got this opinion on this horse. A group horse and a handicap, right? This is music to all our ears, okay? It's Montasib of William Haggis. It's running the 3 o'clock, the Coral Golden Mile, stepping up a trip from 7 to a mile. If you go back and watch that run at Ascot, I think massively unlucky. I don't think given a great ride, found a lot of trouble. Went off favourite that day behind Inver Park. Probably should have won. And again, I think Kieran Fallon last time out at Newmarket, I think it was drawn on the wrong side, just got picked up late on. The handicapper hasn't put this one up. I think it was when Jamie Spencer came right up the rail and you had Ropey Guess on the far side. Great ride by Spencer there, and bless him. But I think Montasib is better than 97. I think this is at least 100, 105. I just think things haven't worked out, haven't developed in the race. And I think the step up in trip will suit as well, because this one travels well. So I don't know what price this one is. If he's around maybe about 10s, 12, I think he's a solid each way alternative for extra places on offer. But I really like Montasib. I think it's a group horse and handicap.
I'm just having a look, actually, if I can quickly go online and see what sort of price. This is Friday, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd maybe have a little look if I possibly can. And 10 to 1, I thought it would have been about. But would that be about that price? I think. But
I'm just looking there. He's
I'm curious now that you've mentioned it. It's quite an interesting selection, isn't it? Montasib. It is, well, it's 9 to 1.
9 to 1, yeah. 9 to 1. I think that's fair enough. Yeah, it's just 7 places on offer. Some bookmaker. I think it's solid each way. I think he'll be bang there. Interesting.
It's interesting as he comes in beating 2 lengths in 8th place, but you never know, do you? Be nice if it won. Just to recap on day number 4 then, and Mark goes for number 5, Existent. Interesting horse trained by Stuart Williams. Shireen, number 2, Aklam Express, and I'm being boring. I'm going for, well, number 8, Russell might be the favourite, but might get challenged by Mitbahi, I would imagine, trained by Roger Varian and ridden by David Egan. And then Shireen goes to race number 2 for number 2, Berkshire Shadow. And in race number 5, that's the Law Marines Queen's Plate, and that's number 8, Rebels Romance. And I take Shireen on in race number 2 with Check and Challenge, what would be a short price. I think we've both got short prices there, Shireen. And in race number 6, taking a bit of a chance with Silencer, who does need to improve, but he'll be a nice each way price. And then Mark has a fancy in race number 3, a very, very competitive Golden Mile, number 10, Montasser. Well, I think we've pretty much covered day 3 and day 4 of Glorious Goodwood. And good luck to what anyone is doing. Have you got any fancies later on the Stewards Cup or anything like that, Mark? And any ideas? Any amazing things that you can?
We'll see if we can survive day 3 and day 4, and then we can get back onto the Stewards Cup. But I'm confident we can get a winner or 2. A Paul and Oliver Cole double would be absolutely sensational for us to the dream.
That'd be lovely. We kind of hit the crossbar today, didn't we, Shireen? We had, was it the Moulcombe Stakes? I think I had Wallbank in 3rd. And yes. You had, was it Rodney? Rodney yes, Rebel?
Rocket Ronnie.
Rocket Ronnie, in 2nd. So we were 2nd and 3rd, but ultimately beaten. And I'd like to shout from the rooftops that I won with Bide, but how can you really? I mean, it was a rather obvious selection, but still won nicely. So thank you very much, Shireen and Mark. It's been lovely seeing Mark again. And when are we doing this again on Friday, Shireen?
Yeah, maybe not. But if the audience would like to know more about our selection, you can just definitely follow us on our social media. That I will put the link on the description. So stay tuned.
We'll do that. Well, thanks once again. Enjoy the continuing action at Glorious Goodwood, and we will see you soon. So bye for now.